Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to Talk Across the Gap here on Soshi 105, 6 p.m. to 8 p.m. on a Tuesday. It's the place to be. Now, listeners, have you ever wondered why some groups always seem to have more opportunities, more respect, or more control than others? Social division. It's not random, it's structured, deep rooted, and often based on factors like race, class, and gender. Tonight in studio, I have my fabulous co host here with me, Nicholas. And with us in studio tonight, we have Amanda Johnson with a bachelor's in gender studies at the Arizona State University. We also have Miss Anne Marie Campbell, renowned social worker with over 10 years' experience. She studied in England at the prestigious college where she got her PhD, London School of Economics and Political Science. Also with us, we have Miss Hatiana Brown, social worker at the University of the West Indies Hospital. Welcome, guests. Nicholas?
Thank you, Miss Taylor, for that warm introduction, and thank you everyone for watching. All right, we have been talking about gender, about race, and for the longest while, and we have our esteemed guesses in the building today, and Miss Anne Marie Campbell. Before I get into the question that I have for you, and my apology, by the way, not Miss Anne Marie Campbell, Dr. Anne Marie Campbell. So, when I was a boy growing up, I always see white man in TV. I always see a white Jesus, and America has the biggest military power. You know, everything was just structured in the way to benefit the white people. I want you to go into the history and give the viewers a little background into why the white man is so powerful. Why do they have so much power across wherever, the north, east, south, west? They might not have power in China, in Afghanistan, in Ukraine, the war that is happening right now, but they have their sneaky and conniving ways into aligning themselves into having great power. We know that they have board, even though they're not allowed to go in North Korea, for example, they set up borders around South Korea because South Korea and America is in partnership. They are friends. You know, an example is that America is funding Ukraine, right? So we want to just you don't have to go into everything, but just focus on why the white man is so powerful.
Good afternoon, everyone. Thanks for having me. By introduction, my name is Anne Marie Campbell. I've been a social worker for over 10 years. So when I hear of this type of panel discussion, I invited the opportunity, right, to partake in this one, right? In relation to the question asked by Nicholas, right? Race is at the heart of social division, particularly how race and history have shaped power structures from the very beginning. Colonizers and Europeans took control of land, people, creating racial hierarchies that placed whites at the top. Slavery and exploitation built wealth for European countries while dehumanizing black and other non-white population. And after the colonization system, like government, schools, businesses, these are designed to favor white people. Some of these structures still remain in place to date, right? These ideas still affect laws, job opportunities, and social attitudes today. And to further add to this, right, I'm going to go into the roots. right? Are some psychological theories to back this. So you might have heard of conflict theory, which simply means power is in the hands of the dominant group, which is referred to as the whites. They remain and control institutions, limiting access to others. Another is the critical race theory. This is where racism is embedded in legal system. Mind you, legal systems, right? And social structures. So it's not just about individual prejudice, but a wider system of advantage and disadvantage.
Thank you, Dr. Campbell, for giving us an insight to these theories. You know, I strongly believe that the power, as you said, the power is in the hands of the people. So we, as Jamaicans here, for example, we need to completely get rid of England colonization, get rid of all these things that hold our country back. You know, how can our Supreme Court be in England, right? Why whenever important has to happen, we have to relay it to another country? These systems are from centuries, right? So these need to be addressed. Why does the government general has more power than the prime minister? I'm pretty sure a lot of persons don't know that the governor has more power than the prime minister. He can choose to kick the prime minister off his high horse and govern the country. And if you go into any institution, you will see the prime minister in the middle. There's three pictures: the prime minister in the middle and the governor general at the top. So these old system needs to be replaced and brought in by people that really needs change to our race and strengthen our culture. And that is the heart of what needs to be changed. So our second guest speaker for the night is Dr. Amanda Johnson, and she will go over gender.
Good evening, everyone. So I'll answer your question. Today, we can see in today's society where gender affects social division by influencing who gets opportunity, respect, and resources. Women and gender diverse people often face barriers in leadership, they earn less than men, and are underrepresented in politics and business. People who don't fit traditional gender roles, like non-binary and transgender individual, we see where they face a lot of discrimination or left out entirely. These differences in treatment create unfair division in society, keeping some people at the top and others struggling to be heard and seen. We need to move away from the old tradition of gender, which is male and female, and just accept everyone for who they are, and let's just thrive as a nation, as a society, as one.
Yes, Dr. Johnson, thank you for your lovely insight. You know, I think Jamaica as a whole is slowly being, even though it's not legalized or it is not in our culture as yet, but I do believe we are becoming used to American culture in the sense that we are accepting persons for who they are. So, you know, used to we would, Jamaicans would, you know, they would fight, they would beat persons that don't identify as male and female, and now it is more acceptable. It's more of a hush hush, or see people let them mind their own business. But no, I believe it is more normal now for someone to be who they want freely. It's just all depending on where where they are majority of the time, you know. And the next point that you touch is females not getting enough work, I believe you said, yes, and not enough pay. I think that's also a myth now in our society. We are seeing females in bigger roles. We even have had a female president. So right now the sky is the not even the sky is the limit for the females. So um we have some adjust we are making some adjustments throughout these past years, and everything is slowly being normalized. As for people accepting others as who they are, it's down to that person. So I believe you made some fairly good arguments, and thank you for your time today. All right, so guys, it's time for ad break. We will be back in just a moment.
How to climb your way up the corporate ladder. Have you been working very hard without getting a promotion? Pull the race card.
It's because I'm black, right?
If that doesn't work, get your boss on nutritious butterfly cut flame grilled chicken basted in your choice of lemon and herb mild hot or extra hot peri peri.
You promote it.
Yes, get empowered by peri peri today. Nando's, the thinking man's chicken.
Is this the land history promised? Here, within these lines, on this concrete court, this patch of turf, here, you're defined by your actions, not your looks or beliefs. Equality should have no boundaries. The bonds we find here should run past these lines.
It's been a long, long time coming.
Opportunity should not discriminate. The ball should bounce the same for everyone.
Change gon' come.
Worth should outshine color.
Oh, yes,
If we can be equals here,
We can be equals everywhere.
change gon' come. Oh, yes, it will.
All right, everyone, this is Nicholas Webb signing back on. Thank you for sticking through the ad, and let's continue our discussion for today. All right. So we have a guest in today, and before we get into our guests for the night to send us off, I would like to thank everyone that has made it thus far to our radio show, and to hear these esteemed doctors speaking about gender and race. So we have Mrs. Atoya Brown Lemonius. Hopefully I did not butcher your name, Miss Atoya, Mrs. Atoya, and she will talk about social division, and I want to hear her take on this matter.
I am honored. I am so honored to be here today. And I want to thank host and co-host for giving me the opportunity to speak today about a matter that touches the very fabric of our society. We need to understand that social division is not just an abstract. It manifests itself every day. Social division manifests itself in our everyday lives. Children that are from different backgrounds attending separate schools, to individuals feeling isolated because of their identity. These divisions can perpetuate a cycle of poverty, exclusion, and discrimination. And as a social worker, I see firsthand how social division, whether based on race, ethnicity, class, religion, gender, or many other differences, can create barriers that prevents individuals and communities from thriving. Yes, these divisions often lead to inequality, misunderstanding, conflicts, and undermines the social cohesion that is essential for a healthy and functioning society. But as social workers, we believe in the power of empathy, understanding, and we action to bridge these gaps. Our role is to advocate for equality, to listen to those who are marginalized, and to promote policies and practices that fosters inclusion and respect. We work tirelessly to create environments where diversity is celebrated and every individual feels valued and empowered. You know, social division weakens the fabric of our society, but through compassion, cooperation, and commitment to justice, we all can build bridges to unite us all. So let's work together to create a world where everyone has the opportunity to live with dignity, you know, free from prejudice and division. I think that sounds good, and I think that is something we should strive for as a society.
Wow, Mrs. Atoya Brown, that is a lot. That is a lot that you have touched and talked upon. And our society is, I believe our society is coming around. And we, even though there are also be social division, not much people feeling of value, and there's a lot of diversity that is going on in our society now, and these things are slowly becoming integrated into our culture. And I like every topic that you have touched on so far, and I hope our viewers had a lovely time listening in. Thank you again for everyone being here today. And Samantha, sign us out.
Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for joining us in studio tonight. Listeners, remember to join us next week, same place, same time, Soshi 105, Talk the Gap. Next week in studio, we'll be having Mr. Sean Smith, the man, the myth, the legend, providing feedback on all that was discussed tonight. I'm your host, Samantha Taylor, signing out.